Hey guys, before we get into tonight's story, if you're new here, welcome to the Deadly Talk. This story was sent in by a viewer who asked to stay anonymous, and after you hear it, you'll understand why she still checks her closet before bed. So get comfortable and let's get into it. I was 19 years old and needed cash for my second year of college. I'd been babysitting since I was 14, so when a woman named Denise messaged me through a local parents' Facebook group asking for a sitter for her 8-year-old son, I didn't think twice. She seemed normal. Sweet, actually. She said she and her husband had a work event on a Friday night and needed someone from 6 p.m. to midnight. Easy money, I thought. She picked me up herself the day before just to introduce me to the house and to her son, Dylan. The house was massive, out on a quiet road with no other homes in sight for at least a quarter mile. Big iron gate out front, the kind of place that looks like it belongs in a magazine, not in the town I grew up in. Dylan seemed like a normal kid. A little quiet, a little clingy to his mom, but nothing that raised any flags. Denise showed me around. The living room, the kitchen, Dylan's room upstairs, but there was one door in the hallway right at the end near the stairs that she skipped completely. I noticed it because every other door in that house was wide open during the tour, and this one was shut, with what looked like a small padlock on the outside. I didn't ask. It's not my house, not my business. Friday night came. Denise and her husband left around 6:15, all dressed up in a hurry. Dylan and I played some board games, ate pizza, watched a movie. Totally normal night. Around 9, I put him to bed. He didn't fight it, which honestly surprised me a little, but I wasn't going to complain. I went downstairs to watch TV on my phone with the volume low, and that's when I started hearing it. A soft thumping sound. Not from upstairs, but from that hallway. From behind that locked door. At first I told myself it was the pipes. Old houses make weird noises, right? But it kept going. Thump, pause, thump, thump, pause. It had a rhythm to it that pipes just don't have. I got up and walked over, stood right outside that door and listened. And I swear to you, I heard breathing. Slow, heavy breathing. Like someone pressed right up against the other side of the wood. I stepped back so fast I knocked a picture frame off the little table in the hallway. And the second that frame hit the floor, the thumping stopped completely. Dead silence. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't about to open a locked door in a stranger's house at 9:30 at night. So I went back to the living room, grabbed a kitchen knife just to have something in my hand, and sat on the couch facing that hallway for the next 20 minutes. Nothing happened. Eventually, I convinced myself I was just spooked being in a new house alone at night. You know how your brain does that. Around 10:30, I decided to check on Dylan since I hadn't heard a peep from him. I walked upstairs and his door was cracked open, which I didn't remember leaving it like that. I pushed it open slowly and he wasn't in his bed. My heart dropped straight into my stomach. I checked his closet, under the bed, the bathroom attached to his room. Nothing. I was about 2 seconds from calling Denise when I heard his voice, faint, coming from downstairs. I ran down those stairs so fast I nearly wiped out, and I found him standing in the hallway. Right in front of that locked door. Just standing there, facing it, not moving. I said his name and he didn't answer right away. When he finally turned around and looked at me, his face was completely blank. Not scared, not tired, just blank, like he wasn't all the way there. I asked him what he was doing and he said, and I remember this word for word, he said she wanted to say goodnight. I felt cold all over. I asked him who she was and he just pointed at the door and said my sister. Denise had never mentioned a daughter, not once. I walked him back up to bed, tucked him in, and this time I stayed in the room with him until he actually fell asleep. When I went back downstairs, I made the decision that I was not spending one more second alone on that first floor. I sat at the top of the staircase where I could see both Dylan's door and the stairs leading down, and I just waited it out with my phone flashlight in my lap. Around 11:45, headlights came up the driveway. I have never been so relieved to see a car in my life. When Denise came in, I told her everything. The knocking, the breathing. Dylan standing at the door saying his sister wanted to say goodnight, her face just drained of color. She didn't yell, didn't get defensive. She just sat down on the bottom step and got quiet for a minute. Then she told me that they'd had a daughter years before Dylan, and she had passed away in that house when she was young. They kept that room exactly as it was the day she died, and they never told Dylan the full truth, only that his sister was somewhere safe. She said Dylan had never once said anything like that before. Not to her, not to anyone. She paid me for the night. apologized about 6 times, and asked if I could come back the following weekend. I told her I couldn't, and I meant it. I never went back to that house again, and as far as I know, Denise stopped posting in that parents group not long after. I still think about that blank look on Dylan's face standing in front of that door. And honestly, I think about what would have happened if I hadn't gone downstairs when I did.